Well, if that thumbnail didn't grab your attention, I don't know what will. Hi everyone, welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video I'm going to take a look at the newly announced HotToys 1/6 scale Anakin Skywalker, the Clone Wars version as seen in the Ahsoka TV show. Now obviously they've done the Clone Wars version from the animated season. I have to say it looks a lot better. Before I go on any further, it's very windy outside. You might be able to hear some kind of wind in the background. If you do, I apologise. It's pretty loud. And the dog downstairs is barking. He might be going a little bit mad, so I do apologise if there's audio issues here, but I wanted to get this video done and dusted because I've limited time today. Before I go on any further, I think it's important to kind of let you know where I'm at with the Ahsoka line. I'm not getting any of them because I didn't particularly appreciate the Ahsoka TV show. My love of Star Wars is rooted in the original trilogy, Rogue One. I absolutely love The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, and Episode 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, because let's face it, they were Mandalorian Season 2.5. I think Andor is a phenomenal TV show, but yeah, overall, Book of Boba Fett didn't land right for me, neither did the Ahsoka TV show. Aspects of Obi-Wan I liked, but yeah, look, overall, it's I wouldn't put it on the same level as, say, Rogue One or The Mandalorian Season 1 or 2. So look, that's, I suppose, what the beauty about it. We can't always agree, we can't always like the same things, that's what makes the world interesting. But Star Wars fan, but yeah, I do pick and choose based on the quality of the writing and the entertainment and the action and all that kind of stuff. So, the Ahsoka, that being said, I think sometimes there's a tendency, I've seen it sometimes, where people didn't like the source material and therefore kind of just tear the figures apart when they're clearly quite good. In fairness, every single Ahsoka figure that they've announced that I've seen the prototype of so far, they look stunning. Whether it's Sabine or Hera or Chopper or the young Padawan Ahsoka or Ahsoka the White, really, really strong stuff. Thrawn, and it's, if the products turn out as good as the prototypes, it could be on its way to being one of the best, if not the best, most filled out line to date so far. Now, this one here, I don't think this one is any different. My first impressions of this, I think the first photo I saw was actually the photo I used in the thumbnail. It looks very doe-eyed and coy. It kind of reminds you of that kind of cliche look that a lot of 90s boy bands would have done in their videos, where they're kind of looking down and coyly look up, like yeah, that's the look I saw. Now, with that being said, like, he kind of did that expression in parts of the Ahsoka live action TV show. I think, unfortunately, it will limit the posability because it's more of a kind of a, I don't know, kind of, is he trying to kind of appeal to Ahsoka and try to get him around to his way of thinking? I remember in the scene he was trying to convince her, look, this is war. You're going to have a bit of a, in a strange way, a positive attitude about it because war is horrific, and he's trying to kind of just cope with this daily violence that he sees or something like that. But look, let's flick through some of these images. Before we start that, obviously this is $265. I'm just going through sideshow pricing. You might be able to get it cheaper or maybe unfortunately more expensive depending on where you're buying from, and it's due to come out, it's expected to ship next year, first or second quarter, so anywhere between January 2025 and June 2025. Let's take a look at some of these photos. So like I said, newly announced HotToys 1/6 scale Anakin Skywalker Clone Wars style as seen in the Ahsoka TV show, which I wasn't a fan of this episode. I know everyone massively hyped it up, but I think maybe it's those die-hard prequels fans and Anakin fans and Ahsoka fans and Clone Wars fans that just, they were eating this up because it was a live action, you know, Sky Guy and Snips. I totally get that. Oh yeah, Clone Wars, while the first 3 seasons I could have done without in my life, when it got into it, the Ahsoka arc and some of the arcs, you know, obviously Order 66 and things about Rex and Cad Bane, some really good stuff in there. So glad I watched them. We'll definitely watch at some stage again, maybe Ahsoka's key arcs or story parts. So first thing here, I can see Hayden Christensen here. I have to say, a few things I've noticed that HotToys are getting better at. The likeness to the actor or actress. They're getting better at that. We can all agree. The realism as well, because there's one thing is that a figure looks like the actor or actress it's supposed to be, or that it's based on, it's supposed to look like. Then there's a second thing that actually passes as a 6 scale human, that it's very lifelike. This here is one of the examples of one that it's really lifelike. In certain photos, like this one here, the sculpted hair is so good it looks like it's rooted, and I believe when they I think when they, for the prototype images, for the announcement images for the younger Ahsoka, the Clone Wars, the one from the Ahsoka show, but the younger one played by Ariana Greenblatt. This was teased. You saw the back of this guy's head and you could work out that it was kind of the Clone Wars outfit as seen in the show, and people were saying, is it rooted, is it sculpted? To be honest, had me fooled. The sculpted was so good it looked rooted. So this here, they're getting better at not only the realism of the sculpts, they actually do look like lifelike as opposed to, you know, plastic action figures. They're getting closer to the likeness to the actual actor or actress they're supposed to be more often than not. They're getting better with the sculpted hair as well. I think I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think HotToys at the moment are doing sculpted hair better than in-art, but in-art at the moment are doing rooted hair better than HotToys. But again, we'll see how that in-art rooted Batman comes out when the final photos actually come out. I don't believe that they're the final photos. I want to see the release photos, the blogger images and stuff, and I want to see reviews. And also, to be fair, we'll see what that Padawan, or not Padawan, that Anakin from is it Revenge of the Sith, the first artisan Star Wars figure that they released around the same time they did the Artisan Joker. We want to see what that hair looks like. Let's take a flick through some of these images. Based on this one here, the realism is fantastic. The separate rolling eyes function is fantastic. Obviously, just it means it's not like a dead stare. I think the expression works with this. Kind of, it's not the most action expression. I suppose with the pose and the tilt of the head and the movement of the eyes, that can all make a difference. But I really like this. I really like this. From the realism of the head sculpt, the sculpted hair, the fact you got the separate rolling eyeballs function, and I think the expression is probably the weakest part here, because in some photos it works, and in some poses, and in other photos it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know what it is. There's something there. Usually when I say something's a little bit off, I can pinpoint what it is. I think maybe it's just this expression, even though he makes it in the show, it works in some poses and doesn't work in others. Maybe it's the fact that it's close up. I'm not sure. It kind of, it's a funny expression. It's a strange expression, and I know he did it in the show, but there's something about it that I can't put my finger on. But the rooted hair, sorry, the sculpted hair. See, it's so good. I think it's rooted. So it's actually sculpted hair, but it looks really good. I know. Typically, from prototype to products, we get a bit of softening. I really hope that becomes a thing of the past, and gradually the detail in the actual product, particularly if the sculpted hair matches the detail in the prototype, because this here, the sculpted hair is so good it looks rooted. I just think it's really well done. Eyes look good as well, and of course you have the separate rolling eyeball function. I like the way they have the scar there as well. You have some nicks and scrapes on his armor there as well. I just think the expression is strange. Yeah, I think maybe that's it. Like, I think it's a strong sculpt. It's probably an 8 or a 9. I don't think it's a 10. I do not think it's a 10. I'm not sure if I give it a 9. I think I give it a solid 8, 8.5. And perhaps it's the expression that's thrown it off. I mean, yeah, sometimes they have that dead stare where there's no expression, and then it kind of looks a bit strange if you're doing a kind of a museum pose or a character pose, and it kind of looks a bit strange if you put in an action pose when he's swinging a lightsaber. This one here, you're probably better off with some sort of a museum pose, or maybe a kind of a character pose. But I think a really dynamic pose mightn't necessarily work for this. I suppose you can manipulate it with the eyes though. I think it looks more like Hayden Christensen on the right there. It's strange as well. He so this, if this was the Clone Wars, wouldn't that be in between episode 2 and episode 3? Because he's not the Sith yet. He hasn't really began his journey down to into the dark side, and as he did in say episode 3, and in the Clone Wars in between episode 2 and 3, or kind of, well, some of the Clone Wars actually Order 66 coincides with Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, it's I suppose a bit strange as well. We see him in Revenge of the Sith and he looks so young, and then now this is, when was Revenge of the Sith? I know episode 1 was 1999. I think would that be around 2005? 2005, I think. Maybe I'm a bit 1 or 2 years off on that, but so this is probably this is 20 years later, so they had to kind of de-age him. Is it possible maybe they didn't de-age him enough? But yeah, so they look great together, and when I say that, I mean in terms of proportion and size. Obviously he's a good bit taller than Ahsoka. Then again, Ahsoka has a very wide stance here, but she is supposed to be just a teen in this. Those lightsabers, they will not look like that. Although they have taken a step in the right direction with the USB powered lightsabers, and I commend them for that. They've kind of done it half-arsed. They need to work on some sort of technology, maybe that's CCFL or otherwise. I know that the CCFLs aren't perfect, I get it. I have had nothing but good experiences with them, but I've heard that they can get really hot and they can melt and they can overheat. I haven't had that issue, but then again, I only turn on these lights when I'm inside here, whether that's organizing the collection or making videos or doing reposes or photography or something like that. And I have them at 50%. I think 50% is good as well for the ones that I got. I got mine for Art 15 Custom. No, I don't get a kickback. No, I don't have any agreement with them. But yeah, I've had very good experience with them. Are they expensive? Yes. Are they... Have I had any issues with mine? No, but I've heard other people having issues with theirs, not necessarily from Art 15 Custom. But yeah, I would go CCFLs all the way because they actually look like lightsabers. They kind of look like this part from the very, very end part isn't lit up. But look, that's just something I'll get over. So back to this figure. That's a lot of little, what are these little hologram parts? So they must come with different things. Scene inspired by Star Wars The Clone Wars animated series. Okay, so they're kind of integrating. See this is here now. This is what I'm talking about. Because of the expression. Okay, I still think there's something about the expression that's not quite there. I can see what they're going for, and like, I know the vast majority of the community are absolutely love this because there's a lot of diehard Star Wars fans. There's a lot of diehard Anakin fans, Clone Wars prequels. I get that. But I'm not going to just go with the crowd because I don't want to get, like, you know, comments or disagreeable comments on my page. I'm not going to do that because, like, just because I like something or don't like something and you like something and don't like something or we disagree, that's not an excuse to go on and, like, write, you know, troll bashy comments. I love when people actually put the effort into watching the videos and making the comment and saying, you're not going to disagree with you there, I think this looks fantastic, I think maybe the issue is yada yada. They're the comments. I love that, that's fantastic. But someone just going on making a troll comment, I'm just going to block and delete you, like, because I don't have time for that. Like, but I do encourage you to respectfully disagree. So my point is, I'm not just going to agree with everyone because a lot of people love it. I don't think this is a 10. I don't think it's a 9. I think it's about an 8 or an 8.5. I do think it's strong. I really, really like that sculpt here. I've mentioned about half a dozen already. I think the outfit looks fantastic as well. But like, the limitation of this figure, I think, is in the expression. And that looks really, really awkward there now to me, this particular one. Whereas if I scroll back to, I think it was the first one, I think that looks good. So the little tweaks can make a big difference. Turning the head to the right here, having the kind of the lightsaber's right hand across, having the arm up, and the direction of his eyes. There's a lot more life in that one as opposed to what I'm seeing here. That just looks awkward. But then again, that's down to posing. Some of my poses probably look awkward as well. That looks okay. I still think the first one is probably one of the better photos. I'm seeing a lot of people say that the expression on his face in some of the photos looks like an online dating profile or a chat or something like that. I thought that was quite funny. These blast effects, I'm typically not a person to display it with the plastic effects because what I like, you know, I'm going for the realism. I want the screen accuracy. I want that shrunken down 1/6 scale version of that particular character on my shelf. Yes, I know they're made of plastic and they're not real and they don't have real DNA or fingernails or pulses. I totally get that, but I want the realism. So then if I was to add something like those like electricity effects for the Emperor or maybe for Electro or the Scarlet Witch magic effect, I just think it cheapens it and it takes me out of the realism, so I won't be using them. I do use the flamethrower effect from the Mandalorians or the Incinerator Trooper. I think they're actually quite well done, or even the jetpack ones are quite well done. This one here, I like the way that they're trying something a bit different. They've got these blast effects. Obviously, he's used the lightsaber to deflect some blasts or some laser blasts. I think that's quite cool. I wonder, could you clip these effects onto a CCFL if you were going to get this and then separately buy a CCFL? How do they slip on? I wonder, do they clip on? Or they're probably designed to clip onto the specific diameter of the actual plastic lightsaber that you're given for this. But the CCFLs, they might be a little bit wider or thinner depending on who you get them from. But look, it's an attempt at something different and I commend them for that. Just look at this base. It's not your typical sand base. It's kind of like there's no footprints on it, which is great because the footprints were ridiculous as well. Especially they're given the human footprint sand base with some droids. You have that swiping effect as well. I'm going to flick through because I want to... Yeah, this is the image that I wanted to take a look at. So Anakin Skywalker, Clone Wars. Separate rolling eyeballs, and I think that's going to be vital. I think the separate rolling eyeballs function in this, how you pose those eyes as well as the head and the rest of the figure to kind of capitalize on that expression so it doesn't look awkward like it does in some of these photos. You got 3 different hologram settings. So you have the little I can't remember what the name of the device that he holds in his hand that generates the hologram. So I think in the one on the right is Ahsoka, and then in the middle is that Rex or someone, and I'm not sure who's that on the left. I can't really make it out. Is it? I can't really make that out. I'm not sure who that is. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm sure I should know who that is. Lightsaber deflecting effects. Okay, that's something new. I don't think we've seen that before. And I can remember, you got the lightsaber hilt that you can hang in the belt, the swap out hands, the USB powered lightsaber. Yeah, so look, just positives on this. I think the outfit, I really like the outfit. I know a lot of people don't, I've heard people saying they don't like the outfit. That maybe, I don't know, maybe they prefer the Revenge of the Sith version or something like that. I think the outfit looks pretty cool. I really like the armor and the weathering and the scratches on the armor on the top. I like the pauldrons on the left shoulder there. I think it's one on the right as well. I can't see it here. I like the colors. I like the kind of like, what's it, kind of like a wine red and then the kind of the dark navy blue. I really like that. Again, the sculpted hair is definitely one of the positives on this. Very impressed by that. I think the lightness is there and the realism is there. Just think that expression is a little odd, and yeah, I'm sticking with that. That's something that it works there. It works there. That just looks really strange. That looks like a dating profile, and that one looks strange as well. But I can see the expression they're going for. I think on the right here with the eyes posed like that, that's probably the trump card for me in terms of likeness to Anakin or likeness to Hayden Christensen. That's probably the most awkward one there, but that's down to the pose. It's a little bit awkward as well. Yeah, I do think the expression is going to limit how you're going to pose it. That looks pretty cool. That looks almost look a bit sinister there, where the head's tilted down. These kind of, the eyes are looking up to the side. Yeah, that's kind of like almost like a sign of things to come. A simple pose, but yeah, it's not the same as anything else here, is it? Well, no, it's there. It's there. This is the one I found awkward. This is, I thought that was a little awkward as well, but then when you go and you see, that's how it'll look on the shelf, because you're going to see the full body. It actually looks better and you're a bit more of a distance. No, I just think that's a bit awkward there. That's pretty much all I have to say about this, really. So yeah, I'm not going to get it. I never was. Like, it's just, I'm not the biggest prequel fan. I'm not the biggest Anakin fan. Prequels, I can watch them, I can enjoy them, I can take them and leave them, but yeah, they're my thoughts on this. So look, if you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Did you swipe left or right in this figure? And you can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.